What is up, YouTube? Dark Magician Tactics. Hope you guys are having an excellent day today. And for today's video, I just wanted to showcase you guys a Shining Sarcophagus deck profile with the new Dark Magician support. And before I jump into the profile specifically, I just want to preface this, right? This is going to be a building block video or a introductory video for Shining Sarc with the new support. Because this is my first attempt at this build, I'm lucky enough to be able to use these proxies with my friends and do some real life TCG in-person testing with them. So this is by no means a one all be all deck. I have some friends that I'm going to keep testing this with and building it out, as well as a really cool video down the line with a awesome content creator. I don't want to spoil it now for you guys, but if you follow me, you know who it is, and I can't wait for you guys to see that video. So just take this deck with a grain of salt. I want this to be some inspiration for the people who are looking for an idea of Shining Sarc, even if it's not with the new support, but this is tailored to that. So hopefully we can get a good base layer for when the new support does inevitably come out for us pretty soon. And yeah, I just wanted to showcase this profile to you guys and kind of just go over my thoughts and ideas along the way of the profile as we're going through it. So enough rambling, sorry about that. We will get into it. So for the base, of course, we are running triple copies of Shining Sarcophagus. This is, as you know, the life of this deck. It revolves around this. It needs this. So we're running 3 copies of Shining Sarcophagus. We are running 2 copies of the Dark Magician, the Magician of Black Magic. I do think that's all you need as far as the Shining Sarc Dark Magician goes. You will see briefly another card that we're going to throw in here that is in the Dark Magician engine, if you will. So we'll just keep going for now, and we are running 2 copies of Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice. I just ordered my 3rd. It's on the way. 2 to 3 ratios is fine. The thing that I don't like is the discard to special, and that being the only way it grabs Shining Sarc. So from what I understand is if you special summon her any other way, you do not get the search of Shining Sarc. But she is a level 6 dark, which is great for going into some extra deck plays. But if you need that Shining Sarc and she gets negated, like, you're kind of in trouble, but it's fine because we run enough searchers for this build. But that's my only thing. So the ratios of 2 to 3 you can play around with. I played 3 for a while. I do think that 2 is the better ratio for this particular build. So with that said, on to more searchers. We are running triple copies of Gadget Trio. As we know, this has always been the main starter for Shining Sarc. It grabs Shining Sarc or a spell or trap that mentions it. It's a level 4 Earth, and it's good for some extra deck plays as well. We are running, very controversial, 1 copy of Gandora G. For the longest time, this card would never resolve after paying costs to nuke the field, especially when people found out what it did. So it was, for a while, just either, fusion material or discard fodder once we got a Dragoon on the field. And I never really would attempt to use his effect to nuke the field. I think it's gotten easier with the new support. And once I lay out the deck profile, I hope you guys will see how. But so we run the 1 copy of Gandora. I do think that's all we need. And we run 2 copies of Silent Magician. This card is super slept on, in my opinion. It gets big fast. It gets big on our opponent's turn, and it's a spell negate. It's a level 4 light monster. So we have our light and our dark right here. That's Chaos Angel. Easy 1-turn make if you can. And I that's why we run 2 of them, because we don't run spoilers, ties that bind to special summon them. I, to be honest, don't really like that card because it locks you out of the extra deck, especially now with the new support. We need the extra deck, maybe not necessarily on our turn. Well, no, we do need it on our turn. I take that back. So no ties that bind, 2 Silent Magician, great card in my opinion. So on to, that's it for the monsters for Shining Sarcophagus for right now. So on to the spells. We are running 3 copies of Future Silence to go grab us either Dark Magician Girl, Gadget Trio, Silent Magician, whatever it's going to be, especially if we need a starter. We're big on searchers and starters for Shining Sarc. We need Shining Sarc on the field, and I'll explain that in a second for why. We also have turn Silence. This is another slept on card in my opinion. You can target one monster you control, increase its level by 3. Obviously that's for Silent Magician to make her big, and then obviously the rest of the effect, you can negate your opponent's effect if you activate this in response to theirs, and then it ends the battle phase. Like, amazing card. I think a lot of people forget all of this and don't utilize it to its max potential. And the one card that's kind of been buzzing around the Dark Magician Discord, I tried it. It was okay, but I think only because it wasn't expected. So once people kind of figure it out, you might be in trouble. And we ran 1 copy of Berry Magician Girl. I ran the 1 copy because it's the only copy of Berry Magician Girl that I have. I have a bunch of the other ones like Lemon and stuff like that. But Berry Magician Girl searches a Magician Girl monster. So that is another way to Dark Magician Girl. In theory, yeah, it sounds like it works. It's just, do you really want to use your normal summon with this? My answer is I don't know. I think there might be better ones. This might be the best one. I truly don't know. I was just trying it for locals last night. The one time I played it, it resolved, and yeah, it was fun. I'm not gonna lie. But that is the Shining Sarcophagus package. Onto some of the fun stuff. So for the Dark Magician small engine that I have, we are running 2 copies of Gaze of Timaeus. So the new quick play spell card. This is my proxy. I got it in English so we can all understand it. Really, really fun card. And I think 2 is the number, for now at least, with this build of the copies that we're going to need to use. If you don't know by now, it's a quick play spell. It's the new one that you can target a Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl you control or in your graveyard, and then fusion summon from your extra deck 1 monster that mentions it by shuffling those materials into the deck. So really cool, and then it banishes in the end phase. Been using it a lot. I'm really liking it. So 2 copies I think is the sweet spot. The 1 copy of Dark Magician, and then 2 copies of Magician Souls, 2 copies of Illusion, 1 copy of Prep, and then 1 copy of Secrets. So what basically this revolves around, right, is you need a spell to go off to activate the Dark Magician of Destruction, which we'll get into in a little bit. You need it to resolve, and then you need a level 7 or higher Dark Spellcaster, I think, right? Or is that Gaze? Anyway, you need that. That's a requirement, so that's why we run all these spells, right? We run the Dark Magician for an extra deck target, aka Master of Chaos. I don't know if we really need Magician Souls. Magician Souls can special summon this Dark Magician from the grave, so there's your level 7, but you would already have had to use a spell card to make the new cards live. So I really don't know if we need Magician Souls. I was thinking about using it for some extra deck plays like the Spirit, the Blue Eye Spirit Link climb, and then you go into Hieratic Seals. But even then, we don't play Rod. So yeah, I don't know how relevant this is. It didn't really come up last night, but in theory, it gets DM into the grave to special summon DM, and then we have our extra deck live plays. Illusion to search Dark Magician, either one, because you got to remember the Dark Magician, the Shining Sarc Dark Magician, is only Dark Magician on the field. It's not treated as Dark Magician in the hand, in the grave, or anywhere else. Illusion can't search it, but then you still need a way to summon it. So keep that in mind when you're playing. And then that is it for the main core of the engine. The rest of it is just going to be our hand traps, and I'll go over those. We ran 2 Effect Veilers. We ran 3 copies of Droll, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, very standard stuff, 3 copies of Molcharmi Fualis, and 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. And that was it for the profile, guys. It's been running, like I said, pretty well, but please keep in mind that this is just going to be a base idea for inspiration for you guys. This is not the one all be all deck, especially when their cards get released. We should be able to have theorized and crafted better decks than this, but as it stands, this deck does okay with the new support. So onto the extra deck. We ran the 1 copy of Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Could probably bump this up to 2 because I think there is a line where you can basically loop the Gaze of Timaeus and the Demok to just keep making like 2 or 3 Dragoons. So that's pretty fun. We ran the 2 copies of Dark Magician of Destruction. I think 2 is all you need for these cards as well, because you can just keep recycling this back into the extra deck. If they banish 1, you still have the other one to go into. So the 1 copy of Master of Chaos, the 1 copy of the Dark Magicians. And that is it for the fusions. So on to the links. We go Blackluster Soldier, SP Little Knight, IP Masquerena, Celine, and Relinquished. Didn't really have a chance to use any of these cards, but in theory the lines were there. It's just going to take further testing to really flesh out how well these cards will work and synergize with each other. And then for the XCs, we ran the 1 Typhon, and for the Synchros, the 1 Chaos Angel. I do think Chaos Angel is a must, at least if you're playing Silent Magician and the Dark Magician Girl. That's your 6 and your 4 to make a full power Chaos Angel. If you take Silent Magician out, right now I can't think of another way to make Chaos Angel, like off the bat. And then Typhon is Typhon. You get in a pinch, you're probably gonna lose. You normal summon Droll. I've done it. Go Typhon effect, bounce something big, and then you turn off all their stuff, and then it buys you another turn. I think it's a good stall card. But that is it for the profile, guys. Like I said, just keep in mind that this is not the end-all be-all deck profile. It's just the starting point for anybody who's looking for some inspiration for Shining Sark, whether it be kind of purish, maybe use that base, or a Shining Sark with a Dark Magician engine, you can use that base, or if you're looking for Shining Sark with the new support. As of now, I think this is a pretty fun way to run it, but please build your profile and then let me know in the comments below how it's been doing, whether that's on simulators or if your locals allows it, or just with your friends. But if you guys made it this far into the video, I really do appreciate it. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, down the line I have a more in-depth profile with Shining Sark and the new support coming with a good friend of mine, and I cannot wait to share that with you guys. So as always, enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate you all. Peace.